What's going on, you guys? Nick here, Mr. Millionaire Insight. How are you doing? Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. I do apologize that things took a little bit today. Had some technical difficulties this time, but we are here nonetheless. Let's get this um, party started. Okay, before we do that, let's make sure we don't get any phone calls because we are live, ladies and gentlemen. So I thank you for being patient with me because we have quite a bit to cover today in today's episode. So I want to make sure that I am being heard. Let me just, do that. So let's see. I'm hoping and praying that you guys can hear me. Let's see. So as you come in, make sure you tap the screen. Make sure you tap the screen and share the live and hit the FYP, hashtag FYP in the chat for me. And if you have questions, we will be going through questions at the end. We're going to do about 40 minutes or so in this live stream tonight. But this is one of the pillars of this series tonight. Hey Harley, what's going on? How you doing? Can you hear me, Harley? Just want to do an audio check. Angela, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining. Guys, do me a huge favor. Type digital marketing for beginners in the chat and hashtag FYP in the chat and double tap the screen like crazy because we need to get this out there because way too many people do not understand this thing called digital marketing and this thing called digital marketing franchising. Natasha, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining. So, guys, without further ado, let's get started with the episode. So, if you do not know who I am, you do not know what I do, my name is Nicholas Francis, aka Mr. Millionaire Insight. I help people establish, grow, and monetize their social media platforms. Monetization equals money. So, if that's one thing you want to do on this platform or any other, stress on that last part, make sure that you follow me at Mr. Millionaire Insight and you turn on post notifications so you know when I go live and when I post a video. So, real early, I want to establish some ground rules. One, share this, right? Share this out because I want to get this to absolutely everybody that can get this internalized because so many people are struggling right now. And this is why I started this 10-part series in 2023. Now, over the next 2 weeks, we are going to be covering the Science of Online Marketing 2.0. So, this is the evolution of that series, right? Where we're going to take you from step one, if you just joined social media and you have a desire to make an income online, this is the series that you want to make sure you don't miss. And I'm giving this away for free and letting you guys come to this event for free so you can get to learn the skills that I've learned in digital marketing and digital franchising over the last 21 months. And the skill set that's literally given me thousands of dollars using this free app right here. So if that's something you want to replicate, I suggest you take notes, right? In episode 1, which was last night, we talked about mindset. We talked about probably the most important part of starting in entrepreneurship, right? So, now that we've discussed mindset, which we'll continue to kind of discuss it throughout because, I am a mindset coach and uh, I believe that, having a powerful mindset is integral to, your success, right? It says, why are you wearing a cross site? Oh, you can't see it? Okay, because I'm a Christian. Simple, right? I am a believer in Jesus Christ. So that's why my merch reflects that, right? So, that explains that. But, you know, I'm glad you asked the question though, right? So the thing that I'm excited about tonight is because I want you guys to understand what you promote. So the question is, do you truly get what you promote? Now, I'm not specifically talking about people who promote a digital product or a digital course or program, or however, get you to sleep at night to refer to a digital program, right? It doesn't matter. I'm not talking just about digital, but I am talking about digital, right? But I am also talking about physical business, right? Real estate agents. I'm also talking about doctors, lawyers, HVAC technicians, roofers, whatever business you promote, whatever business you are into, I am referring to you. But I want to pay special attention to those of you who want to get into business. Because, yes, this is for people who are existing entrepreneurs like myself to be able to get a leg up on the online competition because not too many people understand how to maneuver themselves online. And guys, ahead of time, I appreciate the follows, I appreciate the gifts. Please don't hold it against me if I don't respond immediately to it. I am noticing it. I love the gifts. I love the support. I love the taps. It really helps this get out there. But I will be answering questions and things like that towards the end. I just want to get through this because I want to be able to properly disseminate the information because this will be a part of a package. So I am going to get people that want the entire 10-part series. So I am going to be going through the information here, right? So, like I said, tonight we are going to be discussing understanding what you really promote. Now, what do I mean when I say that? Understanding what you promote. A lot of people, and listen, it's legitimate, right? It's legitimate. Understanding what you promote is key, and some people may not understand exactly why they promote, but the two questions, the two concepts are connected. Because if you can't understand what it is you are actually selling, you won't get to connect with why you're selling it, right? And if you don't connect with why you're selling it, it won't become real to you. That's one of the things that we discussed last night in episode 1. You don't you're struggling with promoting what you're promoting because you have yet to connect with it, right? There is a scripture that I love, right? It says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? So, knowing that scripture, it really helps us reflect on what do we internalize about what we promote. What have we learned? What have we assimilated? What have we allowed into our minds, into our hearts, into our just meditations about what it is we promote? And some people will go, okay, Nick, it's not that deep. It shouldn't be that deep. We're just talking about making money. right? But I remember, and I tell the story enough in my live streams. Harley's an OG, so she knows, right? When I first got into digital franchising, I asked God, I said, I need to make at least $155 a day because that's what I got paid at my W 2 income job, right? Because why do we get a job or why do we get into business? We do so because we want to make money. But I had it backwards, right? I knew how to hustle. I knew how to grind. I knew how to go out and get. However, what I did not realize is what the Holy Spirit told me next. He said, son, money is a byproduct of influence. But the question is, what are you influencing people to? Right? So when you think about it like that, money being the byproduct of the actual work, which is to strengthen and grow your influence, how are you supposed to influence people if you have not been first influenced yourself? This is why understanding what you promote is key and pivotal to understand how you promote. Because if you lack conviction, if there is nothing inside, what will come out is, as we discussed also last night, commission breath. I need the money, I need the money, I need the money, I need the money. So pay me the money, pay me the money, pay me the money. And this feature and this benefit and this feature and this benefit and this thing and that thing. And we end up selling the entire plane and not the destination of the transformation that we're supposed to be delivering. Because you realize, right? Whether you are a restaurateur or you are a lawyer or you are a brain surgeon, you're delivering a transformation, right? If you're a restaurateur, you're not just giving people the ability to be full of good food. You're giving people the ability to get a taste of home, right? If you're a doctor, you're not giving people, or let's say a brain surgeon, you're not giving people just a repaired brain. You're giving people a better quality of life. Because if you can effectively understand the world around you because your brain works the way it should, you enjoy the quality of life even more, right? So understanding what you promote and how it transforms people's lives, you will then get the conviction because you see the real life effects of what you do doing for people, right? Now, how many of you think you know what you promote? How many of you think you understand what you promote? Put a one in the comments for me, right? Now, guys, this is not just going to be a monologue. We're going to be participating, right? Because again, this is how I gauge people understand what I'm saying, right? People understand where it is I'm going with this, right? So if you don't understand, and by what you see, we can understand that people don't yet grasp exactly what they do, right? Somewhat. I don't somewhat. Okay. Oh, so you somewhat understand. Okay. So that's fair, right? Thank you for being honest, right? So the idea is ask yourself this question. When you bought into what you bought into, other than the money, what did it give you? See, when I bought a digital franchise in 2023, something I did not design, did not create, do not maintain, but I still get to make 100%. Those are four benefits. However, that's not really what it gave me. What it really gave me is peace of mind. Why? Because I got automations that allowed me to be able to wake up in the morning and have time to have breakfast with my kids, and to be able to have the time to say, homeschool my kids. If I can homeschool my kids, they're not in the public school system being subjected to God knows what, right? And for me, that is way more important than going to somebody's job just to say I'm going to send them on vacation or send them and their kids to the things they want to do and send their kids to private school, right? See, we have been indoctrinated to think that the trade of your time for dollars is the best plan that you have. But how many of you know just finding out that that's not always the case? And I say that's not always the case because not everybody's 9 to 5 is a bad thing. However, if all you're doing is trading your time for a dollar, it is a bad thing. See, people like emergency personnel, police, doctors, lawyers, teachers, right? There are people in those industries that they were absolutely called to do what they do, right? But a vast majority of people that hold the W-2, they're just collecting a check. If you know somebody that's just collecting a check, put a 2 in the comments, right? They have no overarching connection to what it is they do. They have no bigger purpose to what they do. I'm just trying to get to the next check, bruh. You know somebody like that? Put a 2 in the comments. Everybody started like that. I started like that. But the key is why I tell people and talk about finding their God given purpose is because of the fact we need to understand that our life is more than just existing to collect money, but it's what we've been taught that is the norm. So the transformation of giving people the ability, giving or myself getting the ability to have peace of mind, knowing where my kids are throughout the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, not just intellectually knowing where they are, but actually being able to see them whenever I want to, any minute that I want to, right? So that peace of mind goes beyond money. So think of the reverse. People who work an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours away, they got to travel around the country and they don't know where their kids are. They hope that the people that they left their children with, they hope that whoever's watching over them is doing the best and providing the best care for them. But maybe it's me, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I don't think there is any better care outside of God Himself than me and my wife for my kids. Me personally. It don't have to be nobody else. But that's just me, right? So the peace of mind that people don't have, having to sacrifice their time for income, that they have to sacrifice their peace of mind for income, that they have to sacrifice making too much no money because you make a paycheck and you may make 35 grand, 3,500 a month, but by the time you pay your bills, which is already 75% just in rent alone, and you gotta divide up and dimmy up between utilities, food, clothes, etc., etc. This is why people are stressed. How much would you pay for a no stress life? How, if you could put a price tag on not being stressed, how much would that be worth to you? How much would your peace of mind be worth to you? How much would your happiness of being able to be with those you love whenever you want to, never All right. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? So it probably was for about maybe 2 minutes there. Maybe for about 2 minutes there. Because people might have said something like, oh man, I can't hear him anymore. His lips are moving, but I don't hear what's coming out. So thank you. Thank you guys for letting me know. So you guys can hear now? Good, 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 good. All right. So the peace of mind that we give people, the peace of mind that we provide, how much would that be worth to your potential client? Right? And I get that. Okay, the first thing to look out there to ask is, let's ask our clients, let's ask our audience, let's ask our potential customers, right? But how about the easiest question? How much is it worth to you? How much is what you're currently setting out to do worth to you? How much is that skill that you've taken on, right? That project that you're so proud of, right? That business you just started, right? That thing, that purpose that drives you, how much will it bring you fulfillment, right? And isn't that why we get to do certain things? Hey, Leanna, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining. So, the key is, as all of my students know inside the Kingdom Digital Academy, we never approach a given subject or training topic at surface or face value. We always take it a step deeper, right? We always take it a step deeper. There's a deeper way to see it because that's literally what people are motivated and drawn to. They're drawn to the intangible that they see in someone or something, right? They're drawn to that thing that they can't really put their finger on it, but they know there's something there that they need to have. Why? Because they see that you have it, right? Now, you might say, well, Nick, I just started whatever it is I do. I don't really, I've not really seen sales. I have not really seen anything yet. I just started to dig into what it is that I've gotten into. And I'm really kind of trying to figure out what that is for me, right? But here's the thing, if you can't answer that question yet, ask yourself this: what do you hope it's going to give you? What do you hope it's going to give you? So, the easy way to do that is this. Let's say, okay, so let's do a little exercise right now. For those of you who are watching this live, right? If you're watching the replay of this, you can do this, write this down too, and kind of figure this out as we go along, right? So here's the thing. Put in the chat what you consider life-changing income per month in the chat. Put that in the chat for me. What do you consider life-changing income per month, right? Average people in America make about $155 to $175 a day. That breaks down to just shy of, let's say, 3,000 or so per month. So how much would you guys suggest? All right, we got one suggestion for 10K. What do we say? Who else? Let's get a couple more. So we say 10K, right? 10K. So let's double it. 100 million. Woo! That is definitely life changing, right? So we got 10K and we got we got 100 million. I like the way you think, Princess. Let's go. So 100 million, right? What would that do for your life? Aside from Hold on, Princess. I'm not taking up people in the box yet, but towards the end we'll see. So but aside from debt freedom and all that kind of stuff, right? And everybody knows about Dave Ramsey and the debt freedom scream and all that stuff, and just being happy and celebrating on all that stuff. Here's what I want you to consider, something that I ask all of my coaching clients the first time I meet them. If all your bills were paid, if all your financial responsibilities were paid from now into perpetuity, which means forever, ever, what would you spend your time doing? What does your life look like? Right? What will the money give you beyond the stuff that you can buy? Yeah, you buy the big house, you buy the fancy cars, you get the clothes you always want, you provide for the people that you want to provide for. Careful of that, right? Because it can be a little bit of a pit, right? So after you do all those things, what would bring fulfillment and not just happiness, but joy to your life? Right? What would bring joy to your life? Right? Princess says, I would use my money from my mom to pay bills, water, house. Okay, so after all that's done, you paid all you can pay, everything's paid off, you're free and clear, no more financial woes and stuff like that. All you got to do is worry about paying stuff monthly, and you got a handle on that. You can pay stuff a year in advance. You don't have any more money problems. What does that give you the freedom to do now? Because Princess, you jumped out there with 100 million. So let's see, right? Anybody in the chat here live, what would you do with $100 million a month? What would that give you the ability to do? And as I sit here and I think, right? As I sit here and I think, when you say go out, what do you mean? Right? What do you mean? As I sit here and I think about this, people, how many of you heard this before? How many people heard this before? Money changes people, right? We got a couple of things here. We got do stuff that's fun, pay it forward, help the community, help the church, right? I doing cruising. I knew that one was for me because I love cruising. Tiffany says, give generously, travel. All those are great things. But trust me, as somebody who has been blessed to go on, what is it now? I think like 6 cruises in 2 years. I kind of love cruising a little bit, right? But as somebody who has traveled a little bit over the last couple of years, you kind of search for other ways to impact people's lives, right? Because you can only do so much travel. You can only go out to eat so much. You can always, you can only do so much of each one thing. But spending your time giving back. Now, we mentioned giving generously. We mentioned giving to our community, starting programs, starting charities, starting all these different things to give, because the Bible says, give and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over shall men pour into your bosoms, right? It is a good thing to give. But more so than that, it's about what you are able to change in people's lives. And yes, you will be able to change someone's life by giving them tangible things. But the most powerful thing you can give to someone is a life change, a perspective change, right? Because let me ask you this, all those things that you guys suggested, how would that make you feel? Put that in the chat for me. How would that make you feel? Right? You have all this money that you're able to be a blessing and be philanthropic and serially philanthropic, how would that make you feel? And then we'll go back to the money question here in a little bit because I asked that, but I think we kind of skipped over that. How will that make you feel? Put that in the chat for me, right? Because that feeling that you have is what you sell. What you're trying to do right now and what you're doing to earn money, that's ultimately what you're selling, right? That's ultimately what you're trying to showcase, right? The ability to achieve that goal, right? And there's nothing more humbling than being able to do some of the things that you guys suggested right now, right? You realize that you don't have to have $100 million to be able to bless someone, to be able to help someone, let's say pick up their food order, their fast food order, whatever it is, or pay for someone's groceries, or pay for, you see someone short a little bit and you help them out. There's little ways you can start to do that now, but I'm talking about the feeling that you get. See, people, especially you in human nature in the Western world, we are attracted to that feeling. We're attracted to being able to make a difference in someone's life, right? That's something that we see, that we admire and that we want to emulate, right? To be able to change someone's life. I remember a friend of mine was saying to me, I was on a cruise. We went on a community cruise last September in 2024, and I was sitting with a friend of mine, and she was telling my wife in my hearing that she is so grateful to have met me. And forgive me for this sounding a little self-serving, but she was saying that she was so glad that she had met me because of the fact that when she met me and she started listening to my content and watching my content, it was helping her get through a very, very tough time in her life, right? Now, she is not currently a student of mine, but she is a good friend of mine, right? And being supportive to someone, providing that camaraderie with someone, that they feel like you care about the things that they care about, right? And being there for someone is definitely something people would literally be forever grateful for, right? Just showing people that you show up for them, right? That is something that people are grateful for. So, how would you then look into what it is you do to breed that kind of trust, that kind of connection with the people that you are potentially to help? By showing up every day, by understanding it's not just about the money that they can pay you, which they absolutely should, but it is about that intangibility of showing them that I am here to help you get something you may not even realize you need, right? It's and when I used to say that it's not about the money, people used to say, well, it is, isn't it? Because that's why you got into business. And I hear that. But this is where I kind of branch off a little bit, is that when you make it all about the bottom line, you make it all about the balance sheet, you kind of lose that connection with people to say, hey, I want to give you something that is worth more than the money that you can pay me. A mentor told me years ago, always, excuse me, always under promise and over deliver, right? Give people more than you promised. And the easiest way to do that is to find that thing that has been plaguing them, right? And it's not hard. If you pay attention, you will be able to see the things that people are quote unquote struggling with. And my mentor and I always talk about the word struggling, right? He always says, you're not struggling, you're learning, right? You're learning and you're going through a process. So you keep going, you don't just stop, right? Excuse me, right? So you keep going, you keep going through that process. But if you can help someone along the way know and feel that somebody is there with them to help them figure stuff out, then they will be eternally grateful for the fact that somebody took the time to actually come alongside them and say, hey, you're not alone. You don't have to go through this struggle by yourself. It may be difficult, it may be hard to persist through, but here is what I need you to understand. You're not going through this alone, right? Now, this is for every facet of your business. This is for every business out there, right? I don't care if all you do is be a battle creator on this platform, right? If you show people that you're about caring about people, you're about helping people understand what it is you do, how it is it can help them, not just financially, but also in other ways intangibly, how it can help them grow as a person, meeting new people, connecting with new individuals, establishing a community. When people hear the word community, they feel some way about it, right? They feel some way about it. They feel like, okay, I can go to a place where I feel like I can find some type of belonging, right? And people will go, okay, well, what does that have to do with the money? So let's talk about the money situation, right? So, people, back to the question I asked earlier, how many of you heard the statement, money changes people? Right? How many of you heard that? Put a one in the comments if you've heard the statement, money changes people. Can I submit to you that money doesn't change people? And as I sit here thinking about it, and forgive me for this reference, but God ministers to me sometimes, just sometimes, through the movies that I love. And I love Marvel movies, right? From the earlier times in the MCU, right? But I remember it gets dangerously similar to Dr. Erskine's super soldier serum, right? It didn't just give Steve Rogers big muscles, right? What it did, it literally, the way the doctor described it was, he said that good becomes great, bad becomes worse. It amplifies what's already there. And money does pretty much the same thing. If you were a major tool before you got money, you will be a whole hardware store when you get $100 million, right? If you are a giving person, if you are a kind, compassionate person, if you are the type of person to invest in people, not just monetarily, but invest your time, your skill set, some of your energy into people and making people's lives better, then you will become a world class philanthropist, right? It makes what you are better already. It makes it better. Having the use of money, having the ability to pull on resources, financial resources, will open up that desire in you to help people, right? As I said before, we got to check that because we don't want to be getting siphoned off by every Harold Hardluck and Susie Sob story, right? We got to have the leading of the Holy Spirit to know who is actually genuinely having that need, right? But this is why we want to make extra income. And I don't believe in extra income. I believe every dollar you have should have a job, right? Every dollar you have should be working for you, right? Whether it be investments, whether it be ways to create, using your money to create other income streams, whatever it is, every dollar you make should have a job, right? Because money don't take sick, money don't take days off, money don't complain, it don't gossip, it just works, right? So understanding, now that we have an understanding of the intangibility of what you provide people, by understanding first what is provided for you, you can then, when you start to create content around it, you showcase those moments. You showcase the peace of mind that you have. You showcase the moments that bring you joy. And while for people in my business, in the digital franchising world, we get to say, okay, well, I can be the girl dad that I always been because my daughter loves to sit and paint her nails. So sometimes I help her. Don't judge me. You know what I'm saying? That's my baby girl. So I don't care what anybody say. I will still sit there and help her paint her nails. But I get to do that while my business is making me money. People can still find me, find value in me, find common ground with me, and still learn to trust me that they can get the transformation that they see. It may not be painting their daughter's nails, but it may be taking their kids to dinner. It may be taking their kids to the park. It may be taking their spouse to dinner. It may be taking their spouse on a movie date somewhere. Maybe doing the things that they love to do. Some people like to hunt, some people like to fish. How you get people to imagine that they can be doing the thing they love while still making an income? That's when it stops being about, oh, let me get this $900 a day. Let me get this $900 per sale. Let me get that. No, you start chasing the freedom. See, I have a habit of saying, I don't care what you call it. If somebody said, we're going to offer you a W-2 position, Nick, we're going to offer you that W-2 position, but we're going to pay you $250,000. But the trade-off is you got to spend 90 hours a week with us earning that income. Is it worth it? It is not even worth it. Not 0.5% for me. That ain't gonna work. Why? Because the very reason that I will be making an income will be taken away from me, because I won't be able to enjoy it. I won't be able to be there to see it. See, we have been so indoctrinated, so inured, that we have been okay for hundreds of years with leaving the ones we love behind in the name of getting an income. Can we agree on that? The first step to solving a problem is being aware of the problem. Whether you're a business owner or you're in a 9-to-5 job, we have to be aware of that situation, because a lot of gurus on here will talk about, okay, it's just a 9-to-5, break free from the 9-to-5, the glass ceiling of the 9-to-5. But how many business owners work longer hours than most people working a 9-to-5? 9-to-5ers get to clock out. 9-to-5ers get to go home, right? When you're a business owner, especially an online business owner, you don't get to go home. You got to choose to put the phone down. And some people don't have the discipline to do what it takes to either run their business or to put the phone down so they can enjoy the fruits of their business. Because once you start to make an income like that, once you start to pull in the 10 grand a month, $100 million a month, it starts to be a little attractive. You start to want to spend a little more time to make sure it gets going. But if you have a business that's done for you, if you have something that is not only able to teach someone and give someone a transformation, but you have something that's able to provide that value without you actually being there, that helps too, right? And every business out there, you can have these tools in at your disposal to be able to showcase what you already do, whether it's a physical business or it's an online business. Because why are we talking about this online? Why are we talking about this live on TikTok? Why? Because this is where the world propagates. This is where we gather. This is where we have fun. This is where we learn. This is where we grow. This is where we've gotten the things that we deem valuable. It doesn't matter what it is. I've said this time and time again, and I don't think I'll stop. This is the thing. People get on social media for one reason and one reason only. It's to live vicariously through the people they watch. But think about why you watch videos. Think about why you need that. Why you, even online business owners, people have whole separate accounts, me included, for me to just relax and decompress, laugh, be motivated, be inspired, be, enjoy a good cry, right? Whatever it is, right? You just have to have that moment where it's no pressure, you're just enjoying the content. But why do you do that? You do that because you want that connection. You want that connection. You want that freedom. You want that moment. But your customers want that too. And the thing about human beings is we don't always know what we want until we see it. But if we don't see it, we don't always catch it. But this is why we can't be so bogged down and so consumed with, I gotta make a sale, I gotta make a sale, I gotta make a sale. We gotta be more focused on showing people the transformation that we have gotten, understanding that we don't just sell. Take me, for instance, I don't just sell a way to become the hunted in business, right? Where people chase me, asking me, how can I help them, right? I don't just sell that. I don't just sell the ability to teach people marketing so they can get found with whatever it is they have. What I sell is that moment that they realize that they get to do something else while their business continues to be valuable to the masses. That's what I sell. I sell freedom. Whether you realize it or not, if you have an existing business online or a business offline, it doesn't matter. You started a business for a purpose, but it may not be the purpose that you're aware of. The thing about it is, digital marketing franchising has changed my life. But my business, Millionaire Insight LLC, it changes lives. Because people come to events like this, they see videos like those in my news feeds across social media, and somebody finds something that God put them in front of that they needed that day. And if you're not looking at what you create like that, you need to start. Because a lot of the reason why we don't understand what we promote is we don't understand the value of what we promote. I'm not talking about the valuation of what you promote as a fancy term for how much money can it make. I have a franchise that sold $10 million in a single quarter, but that's not its true value. Its true value is the community, the camaraderie, the kinship, the togetherness, the knowing that you're not alone in the process. You may be in business for yourself, but you're never in business by yourself. The academy that I started is not just about showing people how to make money, showing people how to make money online, but it's about showing people that God has a bigger purpose for your God-given purpose. But how many people are actually telling you that your God-given purpose from before the foundation of the earth has a bigger purpose? See, those that know me, they know that I've been talking like this about purpose since I could have goals, because I always thought bigger than most, because I knew being disabled, I wasn't always given the opportunities, because people figure, oh, because he's disabled, he won't be able to handle that. He may not be strong enough, fast enough, quick-witted enough. But I remember my father told me, what you lack in physicality, you will run rings around people and they're with your mindset. But I didn't just have that mindset or continue to grow that mindset to this day just to prove that I have a powerful mindset. I foster and continue to grow that mindset to teach you that it is possible for you to have a bigger purpose, a bigger calling on your life, because there is a bigger calling on your life. There is a bigger reason why you do what it is you do. There is a bigger reason, and it has to do with people you would never even see. People that would never shake your hand. People that would never write you a letter. People would never send you an email. But they see your life and they see, because she can do it or because he can do it, I can do it too. I can have the strength to do it too. I can have the same shot. I can do it too. I'll tell you this one thing, and before we close off into questions here. One of the things that I mentioned, being disabled, I remember when I was 16, I remember coming out of the car, my mom's car, parked in front of our house, and about to go in, and she said to me, she said, "Son, while you were in school today, I went to see a specialist, and the specialist told me he has the opportunity. What we can do is have him have a surgery where we can break the shorter leg, because I have one leg that's shorter than the other, because I'm a preemie, so my left leg is shorter than my right? So they were like, we can break his leg and we can put these metal pins and rods in his leg. And yeah, he might be down for 6 to 9 months, but at the end of it, when his leg heals, his gait will be fixed, his legs, ankles, and we can even break and reset his ankles. And by the time they heal, most of the issues physically with his bones will be fixed. And he can live a normal life because he seems like an intelligent kid." And my mom said, I could have decided this for you and scheduled the procedure, but here's the thing, I want to give you the choice. You're 16 now, right? You're 16 now, and you have the choice to do this if you want to. And I said, you know what, Mom? Let me think about it. And for the next 24 hours, I agonized over it. Because any disabled person will tell you that one of the things you deal with most when you are in that life is wanting to be what society calls normal, right? Wanting to run with the other kids, wanting to play sports like the other kids play sports, jump higher, run faster, be agile, and all these things, right? And so I woke up the next day and went to school, and I pondered over it while I was in classes, literally walking through the hallways, watching other kids, right? And I really considered it. And I remember coming home that day, and my mom asked me, she said, what do you think? You said you needed a day to think about it. What are your thoughts? And I said, I know I could have a normal life in less than a year. I could have a lot of the physical things that people see go away. Where people won't be asking me, why do I walk that way anymore? Or what happened to you? Because the one thing that happened to me all throughout my high school career here in the US, and people were polite about it. They were like, what happened to you? Some people assumed I was in a car accident or something like that. But I said that would go away. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this. And I'm going to keep this because of the fact I want people to see. And in that very moment, I imagine myself on stage, climbing the stairs, like, 4 or 5 stairs going up on stage, and seeing to have to get help going up the stage and coming down. And seeing that when people look at that and they see someone like me, then they'll know it's possible. Because they have the ability to do physically better than me, right? And if I can do it, they can do it. This is what was important to me even back then, is showing people that it is possible. Not just because I was told it's possible, but because I have lived it. I have seen what this looks like. To understand that what I do as a business owner is much more than showing people how to make money. But it's showing people how to have purpose, because I found mine. My father, before he passed away, he said, son, you got to work out your life. At 25 years old, sitting across from him, he said, son, you got to figure out your life. You got to do something with your life. Not that I didn't. I had many jobs in management and good positions. But there was something else calling to me. And I knew now. If I knew then what I know now, things might have been different, but all happens in God's good timing. Amen? But I sat across from my father and he said, son, do something that comes natural to you. Find that thing that brings you fulfillment, that you can do all day, every day. That if nobody paid you to do it, you would still do it. Because why? Eventually somebody will. Now that person paying me is not just tied to a company, it's tied to my purpose. And now God is the CEO. And he gives me the ideas. He gives me the income streams. He gives me the plans to create things that will pay me, that deliver people value, that deliver people these transformations, that deliver people peace and joy and happiness in their lives. They deliver them a better quality of life. See, it's not always the quantity of life, but it's the quality of life. He said, son, if you can do that, you would never work a day in your life. And I'm grateful to God to say that I have found my purpose. And my purpose is to help you find yours. So understanding what you promote goes way deeper than the features, the benefits, but it's about the transformations, the life changes that your business brings to people. So, for those of you business owners in the chat, let me know one transformation that your business has brought you. And whether you're live right now or you're watching the replay, I want you to put one in the comments. But I also want you to grab a pen and paper tonight after this is ended and write down 10 things that your business, what you do in business, what it gives you outside of the money. And every time that you look at that list, I want you, especially if you create content on social media, I want you to create content from that list. And for those of you who are familiar with TikTok, you're on TikTok, you have TikTok businesses, you're a content creator on TikTok, you're using the Creator Search Insight tool, you go to that tool and you figure out what matches some of the things you wrote down. And if you look hard enough, if you understand how to read the topics good enough, you will understand that one topic from the Creator Insight tool may be something you can turn around and create 5 different topics for, right? 5 different topics you could possibly create with that one title. But create those and share your perspective, because that is what's going to show people, right? I brought this scripture up last night. I'm going to do it again because I think it applies. It says, let your light so shine before men that they may see and glorify your heavenly Father. Literally, what that means is showcase you, your life, showcase your transformation, showcase your light that you have been given by what you have done, what you decided to do. And then eventually, people will come asking you, hey, I know you talk about this all the time, but what is it really? How do I get to be a part of this? And that's when you get to go, I am so glad you asked. All right, guys. So let's get into some questions. We've been about an hour and 4 minutes right now. So let's get into some questions. I don't know if Princess is still here. Princess, you still here? Because I noticed you requested to join the box here to come ask your question. But make sure you can put your question in the chat right now, or you can put your request in by hitting the 2 people on the bottom left of your screen, and you can ask your question in the box, right? So one thing I want you to do is, if you want to join the Kingdom Digital Academy, go to kingdomdigitalacademy.com right now, put your email in, and you'll get information, who I am, what I do, and how I teach people the most valuable skill set in human history, which is digital marketing franchising, right? I'm going to give you a God-centered and God-led approach to this industry called digital franchising and digital marketing, right? So get the information, right? And we're getting exclusive offers just for subscribers. As a matter of fact, here's one thing I will do for you. If you get on the email list tonight, right? If you get on the email list tonight, I will give you the opportunity to review the Science of Online Marketing TikTok Live series, Volume 1, the original series that I created back in 2023, because I literally went through what I did when I first started to be able to get to where I was then. And now with 2.0, we're doing from what I've learned in the last 21 months back to see from where I was then at the end of that first series till today, where I've created 50 income streams within less than 2 years. I've automated my business from 15% to 95% by God's grace and God's grace alone. I've been able to go from the digital growth community, which is the original community I partnered with, to be able to create my own school platform, to be able to influence lives, giving them a God-centered perspective and a Holy Ghost-led perspective on the digital marketing franchising industry. All right? So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes. Y'all being a little quiet tonight. So how did we think tonight was? How did we think tonight was? If you found value tonight, let me know right now. We were talking about tonight understanding what you promote. And like I said, that's the key to understanding why you promote. Because if you don't understand why you promote, you will never understand how you can deliver for people in ways that they didn't even anticipate. Right? Let's see. Harley, are you still here? I don't know if Harley's still here. What's up, Brian? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you, my friend. So one of the things I do want to mention during this series is later on this year, in the spring, we're having a mindset conference. We're having a virtual event called the Mindset of Mastery Conference, right? We'll be having several speakers come speak at that event and guide us in how to improving our mindset, because to me, it's one of the most important areas, right? Let's see. I'm trying to see if I guess Princess bounced out. Brian, are you in an online business or interested in getting into an online business, my friend? We're covering this series tonight on the science of online marketing, learning how to promote anything on social media, regardless of what it is, right? And we were talking tonight about understanding what you promote. Last night we talked about mindset. We talked about improving your mindset, increasing your self-improvement game, and understanding and becoming that person that you need to be to have a successful business. Shion's here. Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you staying. I believe you stayed the whole time. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. User, let's see another thing, guys. Just a little sidebar tip here. When you're on a live stream, especially when you're trying to look at the chat, it is not a good idea to wear light colored clothes, because you won't be able to see the chat worth anything. Let's see, Mr. Joe, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see, working on stuff as I listen. Okay, so let's see. I thought Hardy says I thought you learned that. Oh, what about you? About you multitasking, so to speak? Okay, yeah, I know you're a multitasker. You know, multitasking is a myth, right? Oh my gosh, Craig, thank you so much for joining. Um, oh, the shirt. Oh, yes. So I still do. Speaking of the shirt, thank you, Harley, for reminding me. I still do have these. available. I don't know if I added it to my store on TikTok Shop, but it is. If you click on the Linktree link, you'll be able to see this particular sweater because it is colder than dogs' noses outside in Orlando. I don't know what's going on with the weather, but if you want these, because these have sleeves, I had one that has um, writing on the arms too. This was just the one that I chose when I first made them. So if you guys are interested in that, you can definitely go to the link in my bio, with the link tree, and go get this sweater. It's from the Christ Saves line. You guys can cop that too, right? Cop the merch, right? But also, if you want to get on the email list to learn what I do online to be able to make an income using a done for you franchise, like buying a Starbucks or a Chick-fil-A, right? You can go to kingdomdigitalacademy.com right now in order to be able to get access to learn about the Kingdom Digital Academy and learn what we do here and how we teach people to start, run, and scale a digital franchise business, right? Let's see. Shop by Caden. Is that how you say that? Is that how you say that? Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. So, guys, I don't see any additional questions. Man, I must have did a wonderful job tonight. You guys don't have any questions right now. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time tonight to hang out with me, taking the time tonight to absorb the information. And I hope that gave you guys some perspective on understanding what you promote and the transformation that not only do your customers get or stand to get, or that you have gotten. So remember, the homework is, because we're gonna be talking about the Science of Online Marketing series for the next 2 weeks, right? Monday through Friday, right? So I'm going to be asking about those later on, right? So remember, 10 things that your chosen business, I don't care if it's brick and mortar or if it's an online business, right? 10 things that your business allows you to do and be outside of the money, right? So, 10 things that you write down that your business gives you outside of the money, because I want you to be able to create content based on that, based on the transformations that you have gotten that you can give to people, right? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. I thank you guys for all the gifts, all the likes, all the support that you guys have given me tonight. I appreciate the live gifts. I appreciate you guys commenting and being active and vocal. Harley, I want to say a special thank you to you for modding for me. I really appreciate you, sis, for doing what you do for me on this live stream. I definitely am very thankful for the opportunity to have someone like you coming in here and bringing that value to this live stream. So thank you, sis. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. So if you have any additional questions, or you think of questions after we get off this live, make sure you get on the email list by going to kingdomdigitalacademy.com and put your email in. Make sure you spell it right so you can get access to the information. You'll get an email from me about 5 minutes after you do so. Make sure that you hit reply if you have any additional questions. All right. So thank you guys again. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you for joining me for the Science of Online Marketing 2.0 TikTok live series, and we'll catch you in the next episode. But until next time, live life, love God. See you when I see you.